we might move on to the second part of our pod. We're calling this the My Guys. Now, I want to give a shout out to the fantasy footballers who I have borrowed this idea from.
Borrowed, we're giving it back.
Yeah, we'll give it back. Yeah, it's a good idea. So, but our guys, basically, people on, and we're doing this from a fantasy standpoint, people who were really high on that, we're higher than the consensus, basically, who, you know, it doesn't have to happen, but more than likely have appeared on our draft, on our teams, multiple seasons. So, I'll throw it over to you, Jermaine. Who is your first My Guy?
The first My Guy is Draymond Green.
Draymond Green, yes. Okay. Sell me on Draymond Green. He sucked last year.
People think he sucked last year, but he was just doing all he could, honestly. And because
was he doing all he could?
I mean, from what they had, you know, because that's what his game is. He is the main facilitator for the Warriors besides Steph Curry. So with a bunch of new players, completely, you know, new roster, it was kind of hard to get that chemistry, and so operating that Warriors offense was a bit tough to do.
Yeah.
And so obviously less talented, so less assists and everything, but I think this year with Steph being back, you know, Steph is just a god. He's going to be
a god.
He's a god, man. He is.
He looked really good in that first. I think maybe it was their second preseason game. Yeah. 29 points. He came out, didn't miss a beat.
Just the spacing he's going to offer, and just the way he's going to open up the court to make Draymond just find guys in those spots. He's going to be back to very similar to what he was in his peak days.
His peak days. So in his peak days, he was as high as a top 20 player.
Yeah.
Way back when in 2015-16. I don't think he's getting that high, but look, last year, as horrible as we remember him being, and he only played 28 minutes, he was the 86th ranked player last year. I reckon if you asked a lot of people that you wouldn't think that he was a top
100.
You wouldn't think he'd be a top 100 because he was pretty bad last year. You know, put up, what was it, 8 points a game, you know, but still 6 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal and a half, nearly a block a game. Percentage is awful, but someone who can fill it up. So I agree with you. I think he's going to have a bounce back season. Just a tough person to draft though, like someone who doesn't score over 10 points a game.
Yeah.
Like
it depends on your build, obviously. With him, you're not going to get in. You might have to even reach for him in your 5th or 6th round to get him, which is what I did. But I balanced it with a few other points guys in my team.
Yeah,
but
so obviously you've gone with someone like a CJ McCollum after him, even later in the draft, a Montrezl Harrell and Dennis Schroeder, who are just your point scorers trying to make up for those points.
Trying to make up for those scores, pretty much, yeah. But I think he's going to fill it up this year. So
yeah, fair enough.
He's going to be one of the minor guys.
One of your guys.
My guys.
All right, Mike, who's your first my guy?
DeJounte Murray.
Oy, sell us DeJounte.
When I was doing the My Guys, I think I'm more inclined to go for a player that I think is going to break out each year.
Yep.
And I sort of thought it would happen last year. I didn't take DeJounte this time, but I took him last year. There was still signs that it might happen, but it doesn't. But it's just, he's a smart point guard. He's athletic. Those roughly two steals a game that like can rise when
he's
the
lanky.
backcourt doesn't get so clustered in Spurs. Yeah. It's just the upside's there, and I think it's inevitable that he will like eventually become that great player.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you might miss out on his breakout season this year.
Exactly.
The year that you don't have him, but I mean, last year he was ranked 76 overall. 1.7 steals a game, and that's in 26 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Am I reading that right? Yeah. Shit.
Yeah,
26 minutes a game.
That's insane. Yeah.
That's definitely going to go up this year.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, I don't know why it took Popovich so long, but it took him a while to get Derek White and DeJounte Murray playing together.
Yeah.
I think it was the shooting, honestly, that they both sort of lacked a bit of shooting. But, he looks like he's primed for a breakout this year. Where did he go in our draft, actually?
Callum took him. I
Callum.
feel like it was like 7th or 8th round.
DeJounte. Oh, no, I think Chris got him, actually. Chris got him in the 7th round, So I think that's really good value because he put up, basically that value, maybe a bit more than that value last year in 26 minutes. So I think there's no way he's not going to go better than that.
Yeah. It's solely been on that rotation as well. You're just waiting for Popovich to just give him a consistent 30. So hopefully it is this year.
Yeah, so definitely a guy you can get a bit later who can fill up the stats and get a lot of steals, basically. he's not a big point scorer. So something again you have to take into consideration. But I think those guys that don't score very low drop because of that. Because it's hard. We're so concentrated on points early on in the draft that it can be difficult to make that ground up if you take someone that doesn't score much early.
They go quicker. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of not scoring many points, my first guy is Lonzo Ball. The original Ball. Now, I don't know why. I know it's the percentages. He can't shoot free throws. He can't. His field goal percentage sucks. He turns the ball over a lot.
You're selling it.
He doesn't score much. He doesn't score much. But Lonzo Ball puts up stats. This guy is someone who fills up the stat sheet, and in certain builds, and one of my favorite builds to do is just punt the percentages and punt turnovers. And for Lonzo Ball, like someone like that, he is perfect in that situation. And he's like a top 25 player, basically, in that kind of a build, because he gives you rebounds as a guard position. He's high on assists. He shoots threes. He's actually increased his 3-point percentage up to like 37% last year. He's a decent shooter. Gets the steal and a half a game, and gets over half a block a game. So he fills up in like multiple categories, and is someone that I feel like I've had him 2 years in a row now. We're doing a slow dynasty draft. I'm considering taking him with my next pick now. He just always seems to be there for me. So I don't know. I don't know why people don't like him, but I mean, it has to be the percentages.
Yeah.
But
it's just ugly.
Yeah. He only shoots one free throw a game. You can live with that, even if like his negative in free throw percentage is not even his worst category, and he's shooting 56%.
What is it? Turnovers.
It's turnovers is his worst, and field goal percentage is after that. So like he's not going to hurt your free throws. It's easily recoverable if you get some good free throw shooters earlier. It's not a big deal at all.
No, I'll accept in the right build he can be super valuable.
Yeah, I mean, when I picked him, everyone was like saying it was a reach, but I was like, no, he's perfect.
Where did you take him? 5th round?
I got him in the end of the 5th round, so pick 50.
Reach.
Maybe.
But in my build, he's a top 40 guy. In your build, it's fine. He's a top 40 guy in my build.
I guess it's just he was so far from like someone I was looking at the time. So it took me off guard.
If you're trying to look after your percentages and you're really worried about that, or even in like a rotisserie league, he's someone that you obviously let slide. But
he is on a contract year as well. Could have a big.
He plays well with Zion too. Yeah. I'm telling you, like that combo works really, really well. We didn't get to see it much last year, but I was watching those games because he's my guy. And like he had that link with Zion. He was getting those full court passes, easy assists. And the spacing works well with those two as well. So I really liked Lonzo this season. And I still think that he's the better ball brother. I think he will be the better ball brother than LaMelo Ball. Yeah. I think the jump shot will separate him.
Fair. So, hot take.
Who's your next my guy, Jermaine?
Next my guy is Andrew Wiggins.
Now you're gonna have to sell me on this one because that's a controversial one. Why is he your guy?
This guy had a great season last season. I'll say that. Did he? He did. No, he really did. Let me read this out.
Hit me.
20 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, almost a steal and a block. Like literally like 1 steal and 0.8 blocks or something like that. 46 from the field goal, 77 from the free throw. So that's still, depending on your build, but he can give you 2 3-pointers per game as well. Yeah,
look, his 3-pointers has improved each year, so I'll give him that.
And the 1 block and steal, and that's for a shooting guard. Shooting guard small forward. I think.
You reckon he's getting that now that like the Warriors are back though?
I think like
Kelly Oubre is in there now. Like
I think his play style. I think the way he played last season is a bit more poised now. I think he's kind of, he's. I think he's accepted his role on the Warriors a bit better than he has in past teams, and I think maybe being coached under Steve Kerr, he might be able to utilize his athleticism a bit more and channel it towards those categories. And I think from what I saw last season, I mean, 46. He used to shoot like 41% from the field goal, and now he's shooting like 46, which is a pretty decent jump in the last few years. So I think he's matured a bit more in the last few seasons. Yeah. Hence why I think he might be. I don't think he's going to average 20 points per game.
No,
not on this team.
But I think he'll still be fairly efficient in the way he gets his buckets, and maybe even.
See, efficient is not a word that we use.
Yeah, this dude definitely was not my guy, similar to you. But I I think after what I saw last year and knowing what the Warriors are about, I think he can be used well.
Did you draft him?
No, Sam drafted him.
I was going to though.
I was waiting.
Yeah, I thought it was going to drop. Honestly,
Sam drafted him in the 10th round at pick 92, which is exactly dead on his value last year. He was ranked 92, so
I feel like he's going to drop from that inevitably.
You think so? I think
his role's going to drop.
I think, it depends if you're like Jermaine, you think he's going to be an efficient scorer on the Warriors.
I think he will.
I don't know
how efficient is efficient for Andrew Wiggins. He's still going to be trash from the free throw line.
It's free throw.
Yeah, he's still not going to be there. But I think his
field goal goes what?
I think he averages better, more threes. Yeah. I think he'll less turnovers slightly, but I think his steals and his blocks might just go up just a tiny bit.
Look, he's averaged 1 steal every season except for last season.
Yeah, I think he steals. I think the blocks was a bit of an anomaly.
I think the block stays. I think he might be able to get something out.
I'm excited, not from a fantasy standpoint, but I was excited when Andrew Wiggins got traded to the Warriors because I thought
he'll do
around
better,
a good team, good coaching, he can become more of a slasher 3-point shooter and really use that athleticism. Yeah. So I'm excited to see where he goes from here. But from a fantasy standpoint, I don't know. He's just one of those guys that just scores inefficiently, doesn't do anything else.
Yeah, rebounds, assists, it's whatever, no steals.
You'll see him. I'm just saying a little bump up in every category. That's all.
Right,
and that's what I reckon he's capable of.
Okay, Mike, who's your second, my guy?
I touched on it a little before, but Nerlens Noel.
Nerlens, yeah.
I'm always usually pretty big on the defensive categories when I make my fantasy teams. I think they're the hardest to come by, so then the most valuable when players can give you them.
Yeah.
And the fact that when he was at OKC, he's doing it in such limited minutes, and so going to the Knicks where sort of he can potentially be playing 30 minutes a game, I was really hot on getting him on my team.
Yeah, 100%. And you got him late at a steal in our draft. I'm looking at the steals of the draft. That could well be the best pick in the draft. If things turn out right, because he's definitely. A few years ago when he was playing in Philadelphia, he was going in the top 30.
Yeah.
It was people were very high on him, and that talent is still there. He still can get the steals and blocks, which everyone wanted him for. So I think that's you're winning me over with Nerlens Noel there. I think he's a good selection there. It's just I don't know, man. I know I have a player on the Knicks on my fantasy team. I picked up Alec Burks, but. The Knicks are just, I don't know.
But sometimes those trash teams are good for your fans. Alec Burks was a gun last year.
The Knicks are a different level of trash. they're like a mess of a rotation. And it's those bad teams that have a good clean rotation that I like, Yeah. Like a Chicago Bulls. You know who's going to be playing.
That's true.
The Knicks, they'll mix it up every night.
Yeah, it's fun.
I mean, maybe Thibodeau, with Tibbs there, we'll get a bit more consistency. We know Tibbs likes to play his dudes.
Yeah.
So that might change this year, but historically the Knicks have been just all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think there's a potential for them playing small and...
Yeah, I mean, Julius Randle could go over the centre.
Which is an absolute disaster.
That would be the most Knicks thing ever if they did that.
And just completely neglect their centres.
That'd be
sometimes.
Yeah.
Not surprised, but that's what you... Yeah. That's what you have to deal with as a Knicks fan, I guess. Spicy.
My guy is from the aforementioned Chicago Bulls. Wendell Carter Jr. is my next my guy. He is someone who I've been very high on since he got drafted. Last year, he obviously had the Jim Boylan coaching situation going on, which ruined a lot of fantasy careers. him and Markkanen sort of suffered a lot at the hands of Jim Boylan. So I'm expecting a bounce back year this year, and I think we've already seen in the preseason. Look, I'll be honest, he hasn't looked too hot in the preseason, but he's taken a lot of 3-point shots. He's getting them up.
You like that?
I like it. In my team, on my fantasy roster, I'm punting field goal percentage. So shoot them up, big man.
Do you think... Because at some point you have to... Does that take into account winning basketball? And will that earn minutes?
What I like... Then I've seen comments from Billy Donovan is that he's encouraged him to just keep shooting, and I don't think he had that with Jim Boylan. I think the young guys, especially on this kind of team, these particular young guys need that sort of encouraging coach to give them the green light to shoot these kind of shots, because if you go back to his college days, he was shooting 40% from three. Like he was a good 3-point shooter. Coming to the NBA, he's dipped well below. I think he's right
20%?
down, right down there in terms of the percentage. But he has shown the capability in the past to do that.
Yeah.
And I think it's been that sort of like he's been not taking many shots and been taking bad shots. So I think if he gets the green light
he only averaged 0.7 3-point attempts last season. So
in the first half of this first preseason game, he put up 5 in the first half. So he's going to shoot them. And I think last year he dropped his block rate. He averaged 1.3 blocks in only 25 minutes in his rookie year. So and last year for some reason at 29 it's gone down under a block. I think that can come back up. And he's just someone who has the ability to, and Jim Boylan never did this, he's got the ability to pass. Like, this guy is a good passer. So I think if they use him in some more facilitation roles, he can get those assists up to sort of 3 a game, I would say, which gives him value as a big guy. So Wendell Carter Jr. is my guy. And I think there's a lot of those Chicago Bulls players that can have bounce back years.
I think they're just going to be a lot better team in general. They're going to be competing.
Jim Boylan, man.
They're going to be competing for playoffs. Like that 8th seed, they've got a decent chance if everyone stays healthy, plays well. They got some good pieces. Hopefully that helps out.
All right, we'll go through one more my guy each. Let's quickly rattle them off. Jermaine, your last one.
I got Colin Sexton.
Okay, so points. You love points.
I like points, but I like his efficiency as well. Which is something that surprised a lot of people as well. So last 2 months of last season, he averaged 25 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, but on 47% from the field goal and 38% from the three as well.
Excellent for efficiency.
And he gets to the 80% from the free throw. Pretty good.
You can get to the line more.
Gets to about 4 attempts per game.
If he was to increase that would definitely increase his value, which is probably his next step.
That's what I think he will do this season. The ball's going to be a bit more in his hands. He's going to continue to use his athleticism to get to the rack, and just if he can get to the rack 6 times a game.
What about his threes? If you see his three, he's hit 1.5 a game each season. Do you reckon that's going to increase?
I'd like to think so. Just because he's got a good free throw shot. He just continues to get his range from that. So I think it might creep to 2. But I think his strength is in that free throw, getting to the line.
Look, my problem with Sexton, he scored 20 points a game last year. He was the 108th ranked player. Like, he's that classic. I mean, this just seems to be your guys, Jermaine. But like guys who score and do little else.
He does. He's three rebounds, 4 assists is literally like
3 rebounds,
that's bad.
3 assists.
That's bad for that. But I think he creeps to that neutral ground. That's what I'm hoping. I think he's got those other categories locked. Maybe his field goal does go a little bit down, but to get 47% as a point guard,
that's good.
You got a very high IQ and very offensively aware. So I think those things stay constant, and he just kind of increases those other parts of his game just a little bit, which is why I think he can have some pretty good value in fantasy.
Who ended up getting Sexton in our draft? Did you get in, Jermaine?
No, I don't know.
Sam.
Sam's just stealing everyone's
everyone's getting. So you didn't get any of my guys this year. Oh, you got Draymond.
Yeah, I got Draymond.
Okay, so you got one of your my guys.
Well, he did. I chose some other guys over him. I'm pretty sure.
Probably different build this year than what you're used to. I know this is the first time I've seen you do a free throw punt build. So Michael, who's your last my guy?
It's a guy that I'm not actually hot on anymore, but I had to give him a shout out. Where's Matthews?
He was the perennial Michael.
I feel like for a good 4 or 5 years, probably like when he ended in Dallas was when my love affair for Wes Matthews ended. But for I reckon 4 or 5 seasons in a row, I always took Wes Matthews. And like looking at his stats, don't know why. I mean, like get a steal a game.
He was always the kind of guy that was a better real life player than fantasy player. So maybe you just
I was just playing my GM, my games mixed up.
Maybe you were hoping that one day it would just translate.
I thought maybe he'd just take the next step, get like 17 points a game. Yeah, not hot on him anymore.
Yeah, that's it. So
do not draft him.
don't draft bloody Wes Matthews. Where's he even playing these days?
He's on the Lakers.
Oh yeah, he went to the Lakers. That's actually not bad.
He's on 3-and-D. Hey, yeah.
That's not a bad pickup for them. I actually don't mind that.
Yeah.
He's a good defender, but like you said, it just doesn't translate to stats.
Had to give him a shout out.
Shout out to
He
Wes
is
Matthews.
the true my guy.
All right, my guy is Bogdan Bogdanovic, who I think I've had him at least for part of the season for the last 3 years. I think I've tried to trade him to most of you guys
I got a few offers
for the past 3 years. But someone who I just I feel like always gets disrespected and just drops. Like, I got him in the 14th round, the same round that you got Nerlens Noel. I was at the start of that round, but this guy is going to start this year, isn't he not? Like, I feel like there's no way
It's a bit unknown in Atlanta.
Atlanta's
like, if he was still in Kings, he would have gone way earlier than that.
But he came off the bench at the Kings.
Yeah, but he was still playing like 30 minutes a game.
28. Like he has scope to increase his minutes, and he has scope to just be in a different role. He's a great facilitator. He can pass the ball really well. One thing that is I keep sort of forgetting, but he's not a great free throw shooter, which continually surprises me. I feel like at any point he can increase that. I don't know. I just feel like he's a good 3-point shooter.
He's a great 3-point shooter.
So I don't know why his free throw percentage is poor and is enough to sort of drag you down a little bit, but. I feel like at any point he can get that better. So I feel like on this Hawks team, this Hawks team is going to be run up and down with Trae Young, and he's going to have some secondary facilitator roles on this team. So I love Bogdan Bogdanovic, especially if you get him late in the draft. Like I got him pick 131 in our draft, so there's no way. I don't think he can go lower.
Surely his usage drops. Like, there's no way. He had a decent usage in Sacramento, and he's joining the highest usage player in the league.
He had usages of 22 last year, so look, maybe that drops down to just under 20. But
I think his assists are dropping this year, which was kind of why he was like sneaky valuable.
No, I think his assists could still be there. Like, he's going to be the secondary playmaker. I mean, Rondo's there, but he's already been unhealthy this preseason. Like, I feel like
there's a reason he dropped to 14th round.
Yeah.
Well, he's my guy. Bogdanovic. 2.7 threes, 15 rebounds.
Oh, yeah, he's good.
I was high on him in Sacramento, and I'm sure we were all waiting for him to get traded to a better situation.
He's young. Like he's
no, he's not. I just looked him up. He's 28 years old.
Oh yeah, he came over. He's only played 3 seasons.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah, I guess he is a bit older than that, but he's still he is prime.
Yeah. I think he's a great talent. It's going to be tough cracking that rotation. Getting consistent.
He didn't go to a good fantasy situation.
Well, I would disagree. I think Sacramento last year in particular, when they randomly slowed down the pace, just was like they were one of the last in terms of pace in the NBA last year. So I think the Hawks, the decrease in usage will be offset by the increase in pace that Atlanta plays. And just the fact that he's starting and he played 29 minutes last year. He could play 32, 33 minutes a game. Because
Kevin Huerter's still there.
Yeah.
Kevin Huerter, he's not
a bad player.
He's my guy.
Too many my guys, but I feel like they've got aspirations to make the playoffs this year. Like they want to be in the hunt for the playoffs, so they're going to play their best guys. They signed him into a huge contract. Like he's getting paid $18 million a year.
Yeah.
So I feel like the money talks. Like they want him playing minutes.
I don't know. It's a risk.
Yeah. Well, he's my guy. He's my guy. So. That'll do it for today. We've got one more podcast that we're going to record before the season starts, which is going to be our NBA awards predictions, standings predictions. So stay tuned for that. We are exactly, what day is it today? Thursday. We're less than a week away to the NBA starting, so exciting times, as Callum would say. For those of you who are drafting the last weekend to do it, good luck, all the best. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit us with any questions down below. If you're listening on Spotify, subscribe there and tell your mates. Otherwise, we will catch you guys later. See ya.